So the Leviathan, it is finally going to drop on the 19th of July. There, I got it right the first time. It's only the first time, not really. Anyways, so you have roughly 2 weeks to get it. Get the Reqs ready for it. If you don't get it the first time around, good luck, because you'll probably be seeing a lot of these because of the roughly 1 month we've had since its Req drops and now the start of the event. But anyways, speaking of Reqs, you're going to need to get Darth Malik and Darth Revan to Relic 9. Relic 7, you have a boatload. Sith Empire Trooper, Sith Trooper, Darth Maul, HK-47, and Bastila Shan. The light side version of her, not the dark side. Some people have done the dark side because CG, whenever they announced the Reqs, didn't specify, and then they finally did, and or some people just didn't read the follow-ups and just did dark side anyways. Relic 5, you need Sith Assassin and Sortie. Now, for the ships, you need every single one of these 7-star, even though it says the event requires 4-star ships. Every sequential or subsequent level of the event requires a higher star count for the ships. So you'll need a 7-star Fury class interceptor, 7-star Mark 6 interceptor, 7-star TIE Dagger, 7-star B-28 scimitar, Sith fighter, and even Hawk. And yeah, you just need them all 7-star, because if you don't, then you won't be able to complete the event and move on to farming the bonus tier after you unlock the Leviathan himself. So once you finally get to the Leviathan unlocked at 4 stars, you're going to need roughly 10 million. It's actually 9.9 million fleet credits. It's fully maxed out to level 85. So hopefully you're not spending credits on mods, because you needed to stop doing that about a month ago now. Okay, so to actually fully max out each ability level, there's 8 levels total for each one. It starts out at level 1 and it gets more expensive with each one. You need 10,000 fleet credits to get to level 2, 20 to level 3, 30 to level 4, then 40 to level 5. The problem is once you hit level 5 is the max for 4 stars, and each time you get a new star level on the Leviathan, you'll be able to shell out more of the ship prestige and the fleet credits to push it up another level. Also, speaking of ship prestige, you're going to need 1,950 of them, just shy of 2,000, to be able to completely max out the Leviathan day 1. If you're not planning on maxing out day 1, then congratulations, you don't have to worry about having 2,000 of them laying around. And to get them, there are a couple ways. The contraband cargo event is one. I believe you can also get some from the mastery events for the existing fleets, like the Home 1, Radis, Finalizer, the Radis, like the resistance ship, not the Profundity, Chimera, Executrix, and those. I don't know. The Profundity and Executor events don't give it to you. You can also just flat out buy 10 of them for 600 of the Squad Arena currency and the Squad Arena portion of the store. So those are the easiest way to get them. And you just need to have roughly, roughly 2,000 of them. Okay, and to fully max at 4 stars for the ship, it'll take about 500,000 fleet currency to max out all the abilities. But once you get it to 7-star, it'll cost just shy of 2 million. So you'll need an additional 2 million of the ship fleet currency laying around, because you're already at 10, so you need 12. And it gets even more expensive as we go further down. So I know there is, you can basically use the Profundity or the Executor events as a guide on how much crystals you need to max out the Leviathan on day 1. If you're not going to do that, you don't need to worry about it. Like it says here, it says this assumes you'll be refreshing the event X amount of times to fully max out the ship. So to get to 5 stars, you're going to need 5,994 crystals. And for each time you do the bonus tier, which is where you're going to be farming all the extra shards for it, it's 10 shards per battle. But each battle, after you do the first one, you have to pay 999 crystals. So that's where the exorbitant amount of crystals comes in. Once you do these, I think you have to do 7 fights, because technically you need 65 shards to go from 4-star to 5-star. You have to do 7 battles, so you'll have 5 left over to use for the next level. So to do 7 fights, And there you go. There's your roughly 6,000 crystals you need. You also need an additional 500,000 of the fleet currency to push it from 4-star to 5-star. Same thing from going from 5 to 6. You need, if you're going straight to 6-star, you're going to need 13,986 crystals. Which, there's another, I'm going to throw another socket into the spanner, or whatever the saying is, and introduce another problem with this event. So the bonus tiers for the Profundity, the Executor, now the Leviathan, the bonus tier has a cap of how many times you can refresh it, and that's going to come into play later on. But from 6-star, from 5-star to 6-star, you're going to, like I said, need just short of 14,000 crystals. That will give you 14 battles and all the shards you need to get to 6-star. And you're going to need a million more fleet credits on top of the 500k you needed to get from 4 to 5 to get from 5 to 6. So now you're sitting at needing just shy of 4 million additional fleet credits on top of the almost 10 million needed to unlock the ship itself. It's getting expensive, I know. Great, isn't it? And then for the final hurdle, which is the 6 stars, 7 stars. This is where you'll end up having to spend more of your crystals on the packs that the game makes you buy outside of the bonus tier, because it says 25,231 crystals. This is assuming that you're doing as many times, as many attempts at the bonus tier as you can, which is 19. You only get 19 shots at it. It won't like lock you out of one if you fail. You just have to redo it until you beat it. But the problem is you only get 19 attempts, and then once you're out of doing that, you're gonna have to start spending more to get the final, I don't remember how many blueprints, on top of the 25,231 crystals you need just to get this thing to 7 stars day 1. That's just for the bonus tier part. So this is just a suggestion. You either will have to do it before doing the farming of the bonus tier, or after you run out of attempts on the bonus tier, which you only have 19 of. The CG has it set up to where you're cut off of getting shards from the bonus tier, and once you get it unlocked at 270 from the 4-star unlock to getting it farmed on the bonus tier on day 1. So what that makes you do is you have to buy the 1250 pack 6 times. Now if you do this before you start doing the fights on the bonus tier to push your ship to 5 stars, you can do it 6 times, and it'll put you 5 shards short of getting the 5-star not really unlock, but promotion, I guess is the best way of putting it. So you have to do the bonus fight once. They'll have you 5 left over for going from 5-star to 6-star, which you'll need anyways, because going to 6 stars you need 85 shards. So you'll end up having to do another fight at the very end of getting it, and you'll have 5 left over, which will even out to 10, which will not make you have a bumper crop, I guess is the best way of putting it, of going to 7 stars. So it all evens out in the end, but the thing is, you have to do 6 pack buys either before you start farming the bonus tier or after you run out of attempts of farming it, and it'll cost you 1,250 crystals per pack, which is 7,500 crystals total. So you'll also take that in account on top of the 25,231 that you need to get to 7-star on the first day. So the total crystals that you'll need with doing the bonus tiers and buying the packs is 32,731. That's how many you need to completely max out the Leviathan from 4-star unlock to 7-star day 1 of the ship dropping. If you're wanting to do that, I hope you got the crystals laying around, or you need to really start saving up, because like I said earlier, ship will be dropping on the 19th of July. You got about 2 weeks, but may not seem like a lot of time. But if you're not planning on getting the ship the first time around, then just focus on getting to either 13,000 or, well, not 13, 14,000 or 6,000 crystals to get the 6-star and 5-star unlock respectively. But if you're wanting to fully max it out and make life interesting for yourself, then you'll need the 32,731 on day 1 to get it fully maxed out.
Ginge, I'm in Kyber 2, and I can get top 5 in Fleet Arena each day.
Yeah.
How many crystals can I get, and how far can I get in the Leviathan event? Like, how many stars can I get my big, fancy capital ship?
Well, if you're landing... Here's the thing. If you're landing from 5th to 1st, there's a 25 crystal difference between each rank in fleets. So, if you're managing to get at least 5th for the next 13 days, you'll get 300 crystals per day. If you're getting 4th, 325, etc., all the way up to 400 at first. If you're getting at least 5th, you'll be getting 3,900 crystals total from Fleet Arena. If you're getting 1st, you're going to be getting 5,200, which, if you're managing it at 1st, that will essentially allow you to almost get through the 5-star unlock for the Leviathan. You'll also be getting 200,000 fleet credits per day, 180,000 at 2nd, 160 at 3rd, 140 at 5th, and then 120 at 5th. And it keeps going down the further down you go in Fleet Arena. So the higher you can get in Fleet Arena for the next 2 weeks, basically, the better off you'll be.
Okay, so how many crystals for 1st did you say?
5,200.
5,200. Okay, that's 5,200. Where else can I get my crystals?
That's if you're landing in 1st daily. The only other place you can get...
me.
I'm just telling you. Anyways, there's two other places. I almost said 3. It's 2. GAC. GAC and territory battles. So, Grand Arena is dependent on your league. If you are in Kyber 2, like Thom and I are, we're going to be getting 240 crystals per day at our payout. And then the rest of it is dependent on if you win or not. However, since we're in Kyber 2, we'll get 2,050 at the end of 3v3, which will be on the 10th of July. Sorry, I had to look at my calendar on the wall. And then each fight for the next week will also net you X amount of crystals. If you win, 825. If you lose, 200. And then that also will affect how much you get for the end of the week's ranking. So, preferably, if you win each time, you'll get 825, which is a significant boost. If you lose, then it's not going to help you as much because you're getting literally a quarter of what you could have gotten with a win. So but that's just in Kyber 2.
Theoretically, I won all my battles last week, so my luck's going to dry up this week. So if I lose all 3 battles, I'll get 200 crystals, which is 600 for the 3 fights.
Yep.
So that's 600.
However,
however,
if you win, you'll get 2,475. That is if you win every single fight in Kyber 2 for this final week of 3v3. Now in the lower ranks, that is different, obviously, because it's less crystals. 550 times 3 will only get you 1,650, which is nothing to scoff at. That is enough to get you 1 pack of 10 blueprints for the Leviathan. So it's not horrible, it's just you have to make do with whichever league you are in GAC. So
okay. So does that up my stakes? Like, if I had the worst week ever and I lost, I'd get 600 crystals there, and I'd get 2,000, so that's like 2,600, we'll say. And then if you scroll down for weekly events,
you only get 100 additional. So
27.
You'll get 2,700. If you lose every single fight in Kyber 2 for this final week of 3v3, you'll only get 700 crystals total. Because the extra 2,050 is from the end of the season rewards.
About 2,700 in all when it comes to Monday.
Dependent on yeah. Okay, so if you manage to do a 2-win 1-loss thing, you'll get 1,850 crystals. That's just from the 2 wins and loss. On top of
so much better than 700.
That'll land you in the 2nd to 4th ranking, which will give you an additional 500. So you'll be at 2,350 crystals total for the week, on top of the additional 2,050 you'll get.
That's like 4,300 roughly.
4,400.
Okay, so 4,400. Add that to my fleet winnings and my daily GAC.
Mm-hmm.
How are we looking?
You'll stay in Kyber 2 regardless how much you win or lose for this final week. So you'll get 3,120 crystals from your daily payout from GAC.
Okay.
In Kyber 2. And then...
So 3,120
plus your other 4,400. Depending on how you go. It'll be 7,520 crystals. Now if you manage to win out the season, then you'll get more, obviously. But if you lose out, then you're going to get less. The range is dependent on how well you do. And that is the unfortunate truth of the GAC, and I don't really know how else to chop it up for you. Now, in lower leagues, it'll be different. Even in Kyber 1 with a different... not Kyber 1. In Kyber itself with a different, tiers, there's going to be variations on crystals and payouts and all that stuff. It looks like the feat is unanimously 200 across the board in Kyber, so it's not going to be that big of a difference. However, in Erodium and Chromium, Bronzium, and obviously Carbonite, it'll be different because you're going further down the chain, or ladder, I guess would be a better way of saying it, so you're not going to be getting as much. It just depends on which league you're in and how well you do this final week, how much it's going to help boost you up.
So, if I lost all my battles,
how
much am I getting? Yeah.
For Kyber 2, if you lose out the entire week of your bracket, which is painful, and I understand that, you'll get 200 each loss. You'll get 100 for landing in 8th, and you'll get the additional 2,050. And then as long as you stay in Kyber 2 and don't get knocked out of it into Kyber 3, you'll get your additional 240 crystals per day at your payout, which will come to the grand total of 5,870 crystals.
And then do I add like my fleet on top of that, like 4,400?
Fleet is dependent on where you land. If you're landing at 5th daily, you'll be getting 9,770. If you're landing at 1st daily, you will be at 11,070 crystals between now and the start of the event, because this is 13 days. This is not taking into account. I may be off a little bit on my math because of the payouts, people's different payouts, and when the event will start. So it's not going to be universally, oh, your payout is this time, so you'll get your crystals then. You'll be able to use them for your event, yada yada yada. Because everyone's payouts is staggered across the globe, obviously. So it's just dependent on when your payout is the best way of describing that. Because my payouts are at 7 p.m. Central Time. That's whenever I get my fleet payout. I get my squad arena payout, the GAC payout, at 6 p.m. Central. So
okay, so that's my GAC crystals, my daily crystals, and my fleet crystals.
Oh, speaking
of daily, how else
am
am I getting crystals?
Well, you said daily. We didn't go over that. Daily, you get 65 total from your daily activities. That's how much you get. Well, the daily activities is all of this. The do your galactic challenge, not galactic challenge, do your galactic war stuff, your sims, squad battle challenges, cantina battles, mod energy, yada yada yada. That'll give you 65 total. The random one will be in this, because the crystals you get from the daily activity prize box are either 5 to 250. So averaging out, on average, you'll get probably 10 crystals per day.
Yeah.
Because let's be completely honest, hitting 250 for the next 13 days, you would need to be the luckiest person alive for hacking. So don't count on 250. Count on about 10 to 15, maybe 25 if you're lucky. But 5 and 10 is what you're normally going to get. So that's an additional 5 or 10 per day for the next 13 days. So.
Okay.
And in the other avenue, there's 4 avenues technically: fleet, grand arena, your daily activities, and then the territory battle, which will have paid out by the time this video goes out, because I'm not going to be able to get this edited before this is over. So for our guild that we're in, the Tattooing Pyres, we're aiming to get 34 stars. We're waiting on people to actually do their stuff because, you know, laziness, but not really laziness. It's just more a matter of people scattered across the planet. So we're going to get 1,075 crystals. Hopefully, that's what we'll get. Because if we don't, we'll end up at 1,050, which won't make the biggest of differences, but, you know, it hurts because we're trying to get to a certain level. So, with this one, with this territory battle, and then the next one that starts on Monday, at the same time that Conquest starts, we will have hopefully have gotten 34 stars both times, which will net us 1,075 per time, which will be 2,150 crystals, 2,150 crystals combined from both of them. So, a nice little chunk to add on to your 11,000, dependent on whatever your additional math was. This is also guild dependent. If your guild is not doing as many stars, you won't be getting as many crystals. But if your guild's getting more stars, you can add the additional 25 per star count on top of that. So,
and we're going to get 2 TBs in the space it takes to get the Leviathan unlocked, so that's good. So what are the downsides to this? Because at the moment I'm looking at between 12,000 to like 13,000 crystals, which looks good to me.
What do you mean by what is the downsides to having the crystals? Or
so I've got 12,420 crystals.
Yep.
How many stars can I get of the Leviathan?
It will be, let me pull up the website real quick because I cannot remember on top of my head. You'll be just short of 6 stars.
Short of 6 stars.
You'll be at about 5.5-ish. Probably 5 and 3/4.
What do I need for 6 stars?
13,986.
No. Damn it.
Yes.
So, I'm going to fall short of 6 stars.
Mm-hmm.
Am I running into any issues? Like, this is if I don't spend any crystals, right?
This is if... Okay, so... so... All of what we covered has just been payouts from GAC, Squad Arena, your dailies, and all that. This is not taking into account the amount of crystals you spend on the daily. Because... your guild kind of needs you to do stuff for the next 2 weeks. You can't just not do anything and hoard all your energies and crystals. You still have to do some battles in Cantina because that's a part of the daily activities. You have to do Cantina fights, you have to do hard node sims, light side and dark side battles. So just do them. Okay, 6 light side or dark side, so it's one or the other. However, depending on what you're farming, you'll have to do more, maybe less, just depending on what you're doing personally. If you're still farming mods, you know, all that yada yada. This is not... The crystals you get daily is dependent on, like I said, fleet and Grand Arena. Those are the 2 biggest things it's dependent on. If you can't hit first, it's going to be less. If you're below Kyber, you're going to be a significant number less. So you have to look towards hopefully upping your game in Fleet Arena, staying in first constantly. Not constantly, but getting to first before your payout. That'll help you there. Doing all your dailies, you'll be doing crystal expenditure there, but you also need to make sure you're not overspending and buying gear from the shipments and all that. So this is not taking into account your spending habits on things, like, you know. So
okay.
It comes down to what are you willing to do in terms of spending. Are you willing to spend nothing on like crystals on stuff, or you're willing to just splash the cash and buy your way to 7 stars?
So I'm completely free to play, and at the moment I've been spending 300 crystals a day in Cantina for the relic nodes. Unfortunately, I reckon I'm gonna have to buy some relic mats from the shop.
Yeah, that's the other stinker, because are you talking about the flawed ones, correct?
Yeah, and the green ones.
Those are expensive. I gotta find them real quick because... Good lord. Okay, we're going to leave this in because this is a great example of why these shops are so horrible to scroll through.
Galaxy of scrolling.
Galaxy of scrolling. Oh, there we go. It only took complaining about it. So, right here is your problem. So to get 50 of them, of the flawed signal data, which are the blue ones, you need 1,500 crystals a piece.
Yeah.
So that's 3,000 crystals that you could be saving to the Leviathan, spending it on signal data, flawed signal data, if you don't have the Relic 7s and Relic 9s for the Leviathan Reqs done already. And then it's 2,000 a pop for 100 of the incomplete, which are the green ones. So that's another 4,000 if you don't have, like I said, the relics done for the Leviathan already. So you have to be very pick and choose on what you spend crystals on. If you're wanting to get it the first go around and you don't have all the relics ready, you will not succeed unless you spend cash.
So,
However, if you are, in my case, completely done with the Reqs and just need to save crystals, you will probably still have to spend money on getting crystals because of how much you spend on refreshes for energy each day.
and the only other thing I could think of that will rear its ugly head just in time is Conquest.
Conquest will be another problem because we do not know the feats yet for the Malicos one, which hopefully it'll be data mined relatively soon so we know. And people will be farming it like crazy for the Datacron set because it is busted. And, you know, you'll want to farm more, get more of them, and more of everything. So there will be that problem of farming and using crystals for refreshes on energy. So, word of advice, do not spend crystals on anything in the Jawas or any of the nodes for crystals because you will need them for the Leviathan. Save them, save them, save them. Do not spend them on anything except for energy refreshes. And do not start splurging in the 100 energy refreshes because then you'll be basically cutting into your daily income and you'll be hitting red rapidly.
So CG are trying to tempt me out of my crystals.
Yes,
My
unfortunately.
hard-earned crystals.
Because Conquest coming, it's gonna hurt. Just don't be tempted to use your 100 energies on refreshes, even if you're trying to blitz it the first week. I know that'll be tempting for a lot of people, but just wait for Bits videos is my best suggestion on that, because yeah, well, this is Ginger from, you know, way past the recording, but hopefully everything in this video made sense, and if it did, don't forget to hit like and hit subscribe, and thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys later on with, you know, other content. I hope you have a good day.